Space sector is so exciting at the moment. There are enormous opportunities for growth and innovation. At the moment, the cost of access to space is coming down significantly, and of course that opens up huge opportunity and huge new markets. So in-orbit manufacturing, for example, is going to be something that we can actually start to do things we were perhaps thinking we would do in 50 years' time could be done in the next decade. So space-based solar power, for example, and we have companies in the UK who are very advanced in their research looking to put a 30 megawatt satellite up there within the next five years, which is really exciting. And things like manufacturing in space, Space Forge, for example, looking at semiconductor manufacturing, biotech is another area. So all sorts of in-orbit manufacturing opportunities because of this kind of cost of access to space coming down. So very excited about the potential, but also on the smaller scale in terms of what we can do for Earth observation, climate monitoring, weather forecasting, navigation and communications. The industries that are represented here at Space-Comm Expo just give you a flavour of how much opportunity there is out there. On the flip side, now we need to do this in a sustainable way, one that protects space, because everybody here loves space, otherwise they wouldn't be here, and that means we need to protect it. The ITU's had a request for over 1 million satellite applications, and that's an awful lot of satellites. Now we won't see that many satellites, but potentially by 2030 we could see an increase from about 11,000 that we have right now to 100,000 in orbit, and that needs deconfliction, that needs structure, it needs a framework so that we can all operate in space safely and sustainably, and we can all benefit from what space has to offer. So that's the challenge. I think the Middle East has a huge role to play. It's very exciting developments that are happening over there, and also globally as well in terms of the number of investors that are actually developing their space capabilities now. And so what's exciting there is not just about what's happening in the new space economy in low Earth orbit, but also in terms of space exploration. So advancing and partnering in things like the Artemis Accords and the Artemis program, so returning to the moon, developing the technologies that we need for human space exploration, which I'm clearly invested in and passionate about, going on to Mars as well. And so there's a lot of exciting things happening in the UAE, a lot of development happening there, and obviously the potential for an enormous amount of investment as well. And space startups do require enormous amounts of capital to begin with, because it is one of those industries where it is still an incredibly hostile environment to work in. Getting to space is still very hard, it's very challenging, it's not easy. And so to get that initial capital to allow you to do the R&D, to then have the really exciting payoffs, is very important.